Have you also noticed that all of a sudden now, like, I'm not gonna say it's so much Biden, but Biden, he's a Trump light. I mean, he's just Donald Trump 2.0. The issue with regard to the police, they were supposed to be defunded, and it seems like, well, North Olmsted, for example, my hometown, Ohio, they're adding to their police force. More weapons, but yeah, they wanted two new police officers, a new police chief. Um, I'm bringing this up because back in Florida from the Caribbean, where the Caribbeans that's just expected. They have like automatics and it's just rampant. I mean, of course, yeah, it's bad here in America, but I mean on the mainland, but it's really really bad in the Caribbean and expected. But the police force seems to have enlarged itself and got more aggressive. I'm thinking about this because you're seeing oh, it's COVID, blah blah blah. We're not under lockdowns and all that stuff anymore, so the curfews aren't in place, blah blah blah. That's true, the whole curfew thing. So let's look at the statistics. All right, blacks are still, I don't know if they're still targeted, maybe even more targeted than ever before, and women are more than ever used as victims of fake sex crimes, and um, used more as tools. And of course, men are they're financial tools. But yeah, prostitution's sex, human trafficking. I just saw this thing that there's 34 predators thing in Arizona, and of course here in Florida there's a lot of this stuff. Like whatever they sex trafficking stuff. That's not sex, y'all. Um, it's the police. I'm here in Daytona Beach. When you know people who are on the force or on vice units, whatever it might be, in sheriff's offices, throughout the country. What I mean, like I know dozens of people. Just a few people. I've talked to a few people, and I'm not that close to these people. Obviously, they got to be set free from this stuff. You know you hear how they're just targeting blacks because they're an easy conviction, and of course women to be used as victims. The children, and yeah, I'm looking at Daytona Beach, and it's like, what? There's an area that's, I mean, it's a few pockets, but I mean, there's really bad areas. So, like, how you go fishing and you throw the worm out there and you're hitting these bluegill or whatever, and they're just one after another to the point whereby you don't even need a worm on there anymore. He's got the hook. And one by one, they're just coming in, right? Boom, you just. And then, of course, every now and then you get a bass that sees all this fish running around, and they bite on your hook. You see my point here, though, is like the police know where these spots are, and they're targeting this stuff to get more, um, to look like they're bringing more uh, criminals to their system. Well, anyway, I made the point that we don't need to defund these. We gotta start all over. We gotta wipe out the Constitution. And that's my prayer, that we are wiping out the Constitution. The Constitution's done, and there's no more 10th Amendment garbage. That's what created your police state. But and that was under slavery. Okay, that was only for the control of blacks, Native Americans. There were slaves, but I mean, I think it was more of a racism thing back then. Being a white man coming from my family and all that. So I think it was, targeted. Obviously, women and children were just pieces of worse than dirt back then. Still, pretty much aren't even considered dirt anymore. They're just worse than that, probably. I mean, you do just do the extermination of a child out of the womb in this country, and it's like they call it abortion. You're aborting a pregnancy, is what you're doing. But yeah, not just defunding this police, we gotta just wipe them out. The whole departments, the whole police chief idea, the sheriff deputies, just start from scratch. I mean, you look at the Cleveland Browns. I mean, we were what 11-5 this year. You gotta just clean house, everything. All right, we've got to start all over, and this is serious. This has to happen now, y'all. We got to demand this now. It's how serious this problem is in this country. I'm meeting people from different countries, and I'm looking at the statistics. Nothing's even this bad, y'all. And it's because of the police. It's because of the sheriffs. It's because of these FBI pieces of shit, dumb fucks. Okay, FBI, FDIC. I talk about how they were encouraging me to commit, not just me, but, I'm using me as a representative, for like the whole banking industry to commit every white collar crime imaginable. They're all in bed with us, and the regulation's a total disaster. Oh, we got SEC now. This GameStop stuff, you've got attacks happening on our financial system. That's just really, and that's the whole thing. This is the police. I like the SEC. I really do. I like the EPA. Because a lot of these agencies I like. Hey, the reality is FAA is another disaster, okay? All these, see, you don't have these problems in EU and Asia. There's been some spots. I mean, Jakarta, you had that issue, and Iran, an airplane just, commercial jet airliner shot down. But right here at home, that's my prayer, that we realize and accept. We don't just stop now. If we got this Biden guy that, Trump light, maybe he's a little bit more than Trump. It's hard to say. He's not as liberal, though. But we made so much progress. That's my prayer, that we not just get lackadaisical. And people have gotten so lackadaisical. Let the weak say, I am strong because of what the Lord has done for. So God, we receive that. You've done so much for us. We brought light to the situation, how bad it is in this country, and we've made so much great progress. So we're going to receive that and allow you completely revolutionizing all of these states, no longer having general assemblies and governors and congressmen and all that, the whole thing. I mean, even the police, they're just resigning one by one. School boards, just a total disaster. And we just have a new system whereby we become one with a community, so we have safe communities. Police would just be blowing the whistle on each other. And sheriffs coming forward, We saw what happened in, just put in Miami Gardens police chief. I hear about this stuff, and it's just like, what? So my prayer is, just replacement of, I talked about replacing that, national federal income tax with the national retail sales tax. So we replace now, that's obviously going to be better for our economy, but better for our economy and communities and safety, for the replacement of the police state, the 10th Amendment, obviously not just a replacement of it, but the whole Constitution, the ground up, happiness, peace, love in our communities, whereby, these communities are infiltrated with like a social worker kind of thing, you know, and we actually mediate any issues immediately instead of turning it into money like what we're seeing in Daytona Beach. And not just Daytona Beach though. I've talked about Sunny Isles Beach. I'll talk about Bal Harbor, South Beach, Mid Beach, North Beach, Miami Beach. In general, obviously the mayor resigned over there because of other issues. He just trying to blame it on COVID. But yeah, North Miami, Hollandale Beach. Oh my God, you have an evidence. What do you call that? The police officer was pawning evidence to pay off his gambling debts. But then, of course, I mentioned Hollywood everywhere. But I'm not saying that Miami's like the top bad. Miami's the best. Oh yeah, yeah, Bradenton Beach, strong, less than 5%, and in the top 5% of the least amount of crime in Maria Island. We got Holmes Beach, you got Anna Maria, and of course you got Bradenton Beach. Siesta Keys, strong. These are low crime areas. There's a reason for that. We've got people in the community and on things immediately. Disturbing the peace, no warnings, just bam, immediately, $400 fine or whatever it is. Actually enforcing, peace. It's really simple, right? Oh God, thank you for the miracles, Lord. More. We're flowing, good.